So I'm just going to go over a couple of exercises with you to help the battle against the upper body tension. So that could be the chest, the shoulders, the neck. We all know it well. We all have this forward and inward life that puts us into this position. And I don't want you to get hung up on, I have bad posture. I want you to think more about how can you facilitate your body accessing other shapes, other movements to broaden the available posture you have. So I think about this coming from the rib cage. We often see compression in the front and the back of the rib cage, and that's just because our joints have responded to gravity. So if we're always sat like this, we're going to end up like this, and then the length tension relationship in the muscles has changed, and it's likely that they feel more shortened and uncomfortable. So I'm going to give you two exercises now. One is to address the front of the rib cage, because we do need this part to move. It should come out and up in line with the breath. And I'm also going to give you an exercise to facilitate expansion in the upper back part of the rib cage as well. So, chest first. You are going to find something comfortable that you can sit on in front of a wall. I've got a yoga bolster. You could also use a yoga block. And you just want to take a seat, feel your sit bones, have your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. So in this position, my back is a little bit rounded and it's pressing into the wall, so I can feel my whole low back all the way up to sort of bra strap mid shoulders. So I've got a slightly rounded back that is comfortably pressing into the wall behind me. Conveniently, as I just discovered, this yoga bolster is the perfect width for me to open my arms out by my sides, keep them straight, palms facing away, and I can just press into that yoga bolster. So I'm just creating a gentle pressure and I'm pushing hands towards each other, if you like. But what I'm also doing is thinking about making my skeleton long. So it's a gentle lift up, but I've still got contact with my back into the wall behind me. If you don't have a yoga bolster, what you could do is take a strap or a towel, you could pass it underneath your knees, and you could just find the same position with your arms. So you want to think about just pulling the arms away from each other and feeling long across the collarbones. So from here, I just want you to inhale softly through the nose and take a long sighing exhale out through the mouth. Empty all the air out. You should hear it, and I do want it to be a mouth open, audible sigh. What you should feel on that exhale is those deeper side waist muscles pulling in gently. So again, soft inhale through the nose, making myself long. Long exhale. So you would stay here for about 10 to 15 breaths, really emptying out all of the air every exhale, and you should feel like you have gained some space in the chest, particularly under the collarbones or between the collarbones and the sternum. So the next movement I'm going to show you is a rock back breathing. So this is where you're going to come to the floor, and you don't need anything for this particular exercise, just yourself. So you're going to come into a kneeling position, toes are tucked under. You're sitting your bum back towards your heels, but they might not stay there. You're going to take your forearms to the floor, and they need to be relatively close to your elbows. Now, what's really important here is that this is not pose of a child. So my upper body is not reaching away from my lower body, and my low back is sinking into the floor. I actually want to retain, again, a little bit of roundness. So what you might need to do is actually tip the pelvis underneath you and sit back, and you might feel tension underneath the bum into the top of the hamstrings. And it might be that you're just coming to here because this allows you to keep that rounded shape. If you can sit close to the heels, that's fine. Just go where you need to go to maintain that spinal position. You're going to gently press the floor away from you with the forearms, and I want you to look forwards, not down. From here, it's the same breathing, a soft inhale through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth. Sighing all the air out, feeling those deep waist muscles drawing in. And what I want you to imagine is that the shoulder blades and the space between them are being allowed to soften and float up towards the ceiling. So you're going to inhale, exhale. So you're pressing the floor away on that exhale. So it's not causing like a camel shape. It is a gentle floating of the ribs up. And you're trying to retain that space as you inhale and exhale. And again, you would stay here for about 10 to 15 breaths. And hopefully you would feel like you have regained some space in the upper part of your ribcage, front and back.